Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Red Zone, our very own sports show brought to you by This is Revolution Podcast. I am your host, Jason Miles, and I'm thrilled to have you here with us this evening. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So glad you're here. For our returning listeners, subscribers, and especially our patrons, hell yeah! Woohoo! You guys are the driving force behind the TIR machine. Also, for viewers, more of the main show, Kayfabe, the long video essay project, documentary, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the proper name for it, but it's a project that's taken me some time to finally see the light of day. And had I had my way, I probably would have thrown out the first version. And I'm so happy that I sat down with director Alex Michel and we decided not to do that and make it episodes, make it an episodic adventure, if you will. I'm very excited for you guys to check out episode 1. That and all the other video essays we've done are on Means TV. To view them and tons of other great left shows, go to meanstv.com. Enter the discount code This is Revolution, all one word, and receive a 20% off a monthly or yearly subscription. That's right. This is Revolution gives you 20% off. Let's put it on the screen so you can see it. Bam! Use this discount code right here. This is Revolution, all one word, all in caps, and receive 20% off a monthly or yearly subscription. Now, let's talk about the matter at hand. Somebody says, what subject? Oh, that's Billy. Oh, Mac Billy's in the chat. Remember Billy? Billy Bunton from DC? The other black guy on the panel with me. We're two black guys. He was the one that I'm not going to out Billy on his age. He's in great shape. And you look at him and you're like, man, fuck you, Billy. Fucking great shape, handsome black guy, just sauntering around DC. To hell with you. Good looks. But I'm glad you're here. As 2025 unfolds, it can sometimes feel as though the year is beginning in a state of chaos. The Trump-Musk administration is aggressively dismantling the administrative state, initiating mass firings, and intensifying its culture war against diversity, equity, inclusion, Black history, and trans athletes. These efforts contribute to a broader sense that the country is not merely regressing, but potentially transforming into something more overtly authoritarian. However, amid this turmoil, the sports world presents a compelling counter-narrative, one of progress and unexpected evolution, particularly in women's basketball. The meteoric rise of WNBA, I'm going to keep messing that up, WNBA player Caitlin Clark has elevated women's basketball to unprecedented levels of visibility and engagement. Her record-breaking collegiate career propelled the women's Final Four to its highest ratings in history, surpassing the men's tournament in viewership. Clark is a generational talent whose dominance at the collegiate level has seamlessly translated into her professional career. Clark's ascension is not solely a product of her individual brilliance. It also reflects the broader evolution of women's athletics. Training regimens, tournament structures, and competitive opportunities for female athletes have expanded significantly over the past few decades. Gone are the days when specialized coaching and rigorous year-round competition were exclusive to men's sports. Yet Clark's rise also highlights a particular demographic reality within women's basketball. It remains primarily dominated by American athletes, a contrast to the increasingly international landscape of the men's game. While the NBA lacks a white American superstar in the vein of Larry Bird, Clark's emergence as a homegrown talent from the heartland of Iowa evokes a distinctly nostalgic appeal for some basketball fans. Attendance in the WNBA is on the rise, fueled in part by the burgeoning rivalry between Clark and another young superstar, Angel Reese. This dynamic recalls the legendary Magic Johnson-Larry Bird feud that helped elevate the NBA into mainstream popularity. With the frequency of player movement in modern NBA, the days of consistent franchise-defining rivalries like Lakers versus Celtics may be over. However, Clark versus Reese has the potential to be must-watch television for basketball fans across the spectrum. Clark's popularity is further amplified by the racial and cultural narratives surrounding her matchups with Reese. The media, fans, and sports commentators have actively shaped this rivalry, drawing parallels to the Magic Bird dichotomy that was used to market and expand professional basketball. As both players are positioned as the future of the NBA, it raises an intriguing question for discussion. Is Caitlin Clark the most popular figure in professional basketball today? To discuss this with me, I have my friend and sports co-host. He's also been on the Rain Show, but please welcome Magadocious Rex.
If I had a corgi, I'd bust it out right now after, the royal wave. Yeah, one, let's address a few things. Dr. Claw, you're absolutely right. When Juju Watkins hits the league, holy fuck. You think basketball mania on the women's side is kind of crazy. When Juju hits, it's going to be crazy. It'll be even bigger. I really believe that. And Mr. Crash, I think we're going to see a few things changing with the NIL money that'll be coming in. The big chunk of the $25 million that's projected each school is going to pay to players is probably 60% of that is going to go to men's basketball and men's football. So you may see that change, because if dudes know I can get a check from the university as well as pull NIL money and make like 10 times more than I would going overseas, they'll stay put. And, some of these players don't need a year. And on the flip side of that, though, I will agree with you that there are some college players that it benefits them to stay in school. But, if you got a chance to make some money, like that big fuck you money, you can't blame a kid for spending his year in college and going for that shot. But yeah, I think NIL is going to change things. And maybe we're not going to see like 6 years super seniors like we do in football. Especially at the quarterback position. But I think you'll probably see guys stick around more than a year now.
Cooper DeJean is coming back.
Cooper,
Mhm.
he picked off a pass and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Cooper DeJean. I mean, Cooper Flag. Is that his name?
Yeah, Cooper Flag. Yeah, there
Sorry,
you go.
all white people aren't the same. That was racist.
I mean, dude, I was told all white people smell like spam. So
I've never heard that. Whoever told you that made that up. Just want you to know that that's not true.
It was a dude I worked with, and I assure you, I do not smell like spam.
But he made it up.
Good. Yeah,
that's not true. It's wet dog. It's white people smell like wet dog. So if he said spam, he either is Hawaiian or he just made it up. I'll fight. I'll die on that hill.
I mean, wet dog kind of hurts my feelings, but when my beard gets wet, I get it. I get it.
I didn't tell you the time I yelled that out at a 3rd grade field trip.
No.
Yeah, I went to school in a place called Marin County, which is primarily white and very wealthy.
Yeah, it had to have been mostly white, because that one song talked about it by that really shitty band. The band that sang Soul Sister.
Oh, hey, Soul
Yeah,
Sister.
that one.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Train.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I hung out with that singer at a Bottle Rock when I was working festivals. Interesting man. Yeah, Marin County. But I was in a pool, and my mom said, when you go to a pool with white people, they smell like wet dog and bologna. I was like, oh man, that's fucked up. And so we were all in the pool. I remember looking over at a classmate. I was like, I was 8. I was like, you don't smell like wet dog at all. Or bologna. So my mother lied. But the spam, I've never heard a black person mention spam in any context.
Well, you have to understand where I grew up. Like my grandpa worked steel, and a lot of the people that lived in the area did, and that's what they took for lunch, because it was you could like cook it once and just like put it in a lunchbox, take it to work, you know? So like Spam was everywhere, man.
See, even Ken says he's an old white guy. Even he says dog or Spam.
Hey, you know what? I get it.
I've heard dog. I've heard bologna. I've never heard Spam. And I need to get a real big rundown on this person's family history on how they thought to say Spam. Because I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it, man. Just not buying it. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. The wet dog. Yeah, Antonio, the whole ass dog too, apparently. Like, oh wow.
But if it makes anyone feel better about the racism, a Mexican woman was trying to explain something to me, and she said, "Well, you know how all black people stink." I was like, no. So yeah. Everyone has their extremely racist stereotypes that every so often they'll trot out. But I've been around Mac when he's been warm, and when he's sweat, I didn't think, who's eating a bologna sandwich? I didn't think.
I mean, I reapply deodorant more than once when Jason eats Spam. He goes, he would too.
Mercury. I would so do that. There's a lot of truth in that statement.
He'd put like a compote or something, like some kind of like
I would
raspberry
totally
glaze.
Do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, with like a nice goat cheese. Oh fuck.
And Mercutio, it would be an open face sandwich, not just some shit you throw on toasted bread.
Or I would make a nice hollandaise. Fucking eating that shit raw. What do I look like? The Rock? Fuck is wrong with you? Sorry.
Man, The Rock. He hasn't had Spam since 1989, dude.
He might eat Spam. That man is on so many steroids,
dude.
I mean, I'm sure he eats healthy, but he's also.
Even if his movies suck, he still pulls down $40 million a film. He's got a full-time like chef that hates his life. You know,
because he's gonna make so many Spamasuvis.
Hey, I'm gonna need my Spam in a smoothie today, there, Jim. What? That's right. Favorite cracker. You know what? I've been called worse. I will take favorite cracker. I mean, the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me is, when I was going to college. I was really active with like student groups, and I was like the oldest dude. I thought I was the oldest person, but there was this woman there that was 48, right? And just absolutely gorgeous, lighter skinned black woman. And she looks at me dead ass and goes, "You know what? For a white guy, you haven't aged poorly." And I was like, I will take that, because white folks, a lot of us, especially dudes after a certain age, it's like, we're like, oh, well, yeah. And then it's like curdled milk, like it's just, some white dudes don't age well. And hopefully I'm glad I'm beating that right now. So, but, so yeah, basketball. Let's talk some basketball.
Let's talk some, look, I thought to do this because I was driving back from speaking in Irvine on over the weekend.
Yeah, hanging dong in Slash's booth. Yeah, we know.
Oh no, that was something different. That was Friday. We weren't in Slash's booth because these porn people took it. So we were outside.
And you didn't pitch our idea to them? Come on, dude. That was such a great networking event, and you missed it.
If you would have been there, you would have been like Randy Newman. I love LA.
Listen, I've been to LA twice. The first time I was like, this place is cool, and I know I couldn't live here. And the second time I went there, I'm like, I never want to come back. It's like I had my fill.
I mean, I'm not a fan of a certain aspect of it because I was always in the industry, and there's some fakeness with people within that industry. But as far as like a beautiful city, really awesome architecture, nightlife, great food, I will say that Oakland did win, I think, best food city in the country. So shout out to Oakland.
Yeah.
Shout out to fucking Oakland. But anyway, no. You would have been there. This was like the most LA fucking night ever. Like everybody was coming. There was just, yeah. We were in the spot for all the LA shit, and it would have been like, oh, if Mac was here, he would have had such a fucking great time.
Oh, I would have had a blast, and I would have pitched that idea. I would have
You
been
probably would have had the balls to go up to those.
you
women and be like,
guys are in
"Hey."
porn. Let me tell you. Are you ready for post scene press conferences? Are you ready for a play by play? You know, I mean, we can turn it on its ear, the entire industry. I mean, fuck, dude, WWE does press conferences, and it's like, bro, we're all in on it now. We know it's scripted.
I just love promos and wrestling. That's another. Like, let's not get derailed too far because you have a limited amount of time. But on the radio show, they were talking about the viewership of the current All-Star game and how a lot of people didn't watch it because last year it was Steph Curry and Caitlin Clark in a 3-point shootout, and it was just this great thing to see. And he thought, or his opinion was that people were upset that there was no Caitlin Clark at the men's All-Star game because she was like, I'm not going back to the men's All-Star game. I'm going to participate in the women's All-Star game. And I don't know if I buy that's why viewership is down. I think basketball doesn't have the stars that it's had even 10 years ago. And the ones that people still talk about, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. As far as LeBron James, he's bounced around a bit. Durant's definitely bounced around quite a bit after leaving Golden State. So if you think about an era where just kind of around all sports at the same time too, where someone just stayed with the team for a long period of time so you can have these kinds of rivalries. Like, I don't think Lakers Celtics was a rivalry in the 60s because of those players, right? Bill Walton and not Bill Walton, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
And the logo, Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West.
And of course, Wilt Chamberlain. There's just a lot of names you can name in those great championship rivalries. And then you get it a reboot of it in the late 70s throughout the 80s with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. But unlike the 60s, there's definitely a racial component in the 80s that fuels that rivalry between Magic and Bird to the point where it's like there's that scene, there's that horrible scene in Do the Right Thing where the white guy that's supposed to be from the Bronx, who's a Celtics fan, like that would never happen. But regardless, Lee is trying to tell you that white people are Celtics fans. And I can say as a Californian, yeah, I knew tons of Celtics fans that were white. And also most of my friends are Laker fans. Only bandwagon jumpers are Warriors fans, unless you had like weird parents that were like loyal to that team when nobody watched them in the early to mid 80s. So I think that's one part of it. I think another part of Caitlin Clark's success, and I don't know if you agree with this, is the rise of AAU basketball for girls.
I think there's some truth to that.
There's a lot of go ahead.
I don't think you can discount that, right? When we start seeing AAU spread into, young women's sports, and you see essentially the same kind of training, same kind of travel schedule, same time, type of gameplay, the women's game's going to get better, right? Like whether we like the AAU system or not, and I think we're both on record as saying we do not like it. I do think that it offers players an opportunity to improve their skill with more kind of one-on-one coaching, and as well as, as cheesy as it sounds, iron sharpens iron, man. Right.
Yeah.
So if you play against better people, you're going to improve your game. So you're not seeing girls like a young woman like Caitlin Clark, who you got to think even 15 years ago would have been stuck just dominating Iowa high school basketball. Right. Now she can do that as well as playing on a travel team, going to California, and playing some of the best players from other states. So like, yeah, man, AAU is a carbuncle on the ass of, high school sports, but that's the world we live in now. Um, and I don't want to say we're too far gone to change it. I wish we could institute academy style things like they have in Europe. I think that would be better overall for the player. But, I don't know if you saw USL, which is kind of like the second tier of American soccer, is starting a first tier league to compete with MLS because they want to institute promotion and relegation, right?
Mhm.
I hope they get approved because US soccer has to approve that league and all that. Because I think excuse me, I think we need things like promotion and relegation in college sports, especially if we're going to continue to maintain this weird thing. We're the only country on the planet that has like certified minor leagues that are attached to universities. Um, you know, but it would be great if we can have an academy style system with promotion and relegation, and have these, pyramids and sports the way that the rest of the planet does. But, we're America, America.
Hmm.
Um, just shut the fuck up, Jay Sefri. I am not pro child labor. um, but like Caitlin Clark is driving eyeballs to TVs,
Mhm.
whether we like it or not, right? And there is a large subset of the American public that still sees the WNBA as rebounding practice, right? Um, I think she's great for the sport. I think even if you watched, her last 2 years in college, just for her, you got to see other players like Angel Reese. You know, um, the Yukon ladies team always has phenomenal players, right? Like Claw mentioned Paige Buchers, who's I think is going to be another big, huge star. You know, my most steady paying gig was writing about the Las Vegas Aces, which opened my eyes to just how dynamic women's basketball is now. So like even if you just watched for Caitlin Clark, you're seeing everybody else,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's phenomenal, right? Because we're seeing kind of like this renaissance, not just of women's basketball, but if you look at the Professional Women's Hockey League, they're selling out NHL arenas. Um, we're starting to see it. The kind of the expansion of women's sports. Like I follow the Women's National Football League, which has a team in Raleigh that I plan on going to check out when their season kicks off. And I think this is great. You know, um, it's. I think it's important that people get behind the WNBA. Like I was a Rockers fan, and I was bummed when we lost the team, but Rockers are coming back. You know, Golden State's got the Valkyries coming. Toronto's getting a team. Boston with one of the Wahlbergs and Michael Carter Williams is looking to be part of an ownership group to get a team in Boston. I think it's only a matter of time before the WNBA is as big as the NBA. And what we have to realize is that the Cleveland group, Jason, is paying 250 million for an expansion team,
For
right?
WNBA.
For a WNBA expansion team, right? So why aren't we seeing a commensurate raise in player salary? That's I think is where we're gonna have to put on our solidarity hats because I could see the players leading a work stoppage for better wages. As the league grows and these revenue streams get bigger.
We'll see. Um, I'd have to talk. I would love to talk to one of the players to see if they actually like playing overseas in the off season.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I think this is the shitty thing. I think that the United States is putting out some of the best basketball players on the planet, right? And you know, if they don't get like a big marketing deal, right? Like Asia, she just inked that huge deal with Nike. It's not just putting out sneakers now; it's putting out like athletic wear and
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Wearable technology. Yeah.
yeah, Caitlin Clark, her endorsements like total like $36 million.
Because she doesn't play overseas, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, she doesn't. She's playing in that brand new 3-on-3 league, though.
Is
Uh,
she?
yes, I
They
think
must
she's
pay her a
slated.
ton of money.
Oh, dude, Unrivaled is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun to watch. Um, and it's for whatever reason, they're able to bankroll like a turn like an end of season, like winner take all, like big pot. They get paid more than they do by playing in the WNBA. Um, so like it's there are things that need to be straightened out
Mhm.
with the pay scale in the WNBA. I think the onset of free agency is important. We saw a lot of player movement last week, a ton of it. I think as we see these, the Golden State, I don't know if they're the Golden State Valkyries or whatever they're going to be called. Um, Toronto and Cleveland come back. I think we'll probably see even more uh, player movement because you know how it is with expansion teams. You'll go through the expansion draft, and what do? You sign players to fill out the rest of your roster.
Yeah.
So
And,
um,
I mean, would you agree though? Because I think the guy's posing the question when I heard the radio show and this was a national, it was late night radio, which is you can have a national late night show, but a lot of those things are really horrible. But it felt like he was almost mad when he made the statement that she might be the most popular player in basketball.
well,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, that isn't that the sad thing though, right? Like she helped propel. Okay, I don't want to say she was the sole reason
mhm,
because last year's women's final, their tournament was phenomenal from beginning to end, where the men's tournament kind of sucked, right? Um, but she drew eyeballs, right? She got people to watch these games.
mhm,
She helped drive those ratings up,
mhm,
and of course, ESPN and ABC Disney, what did they get out of it? Huge advertising revenues, right?
mhm.
Everybody wants to advertise during that game, right? So yeah, I mean, I've noticed that too. A lot of guys, and it is guys, pissing and moaning about women's sports. And go ahead and ask them, have you watched a game? Like,
Well, it
have you
seems to be it's eliminating kind of a conversation that I think is stupid, which is this conversation about when like women can do anything men can do, and then some guy will be like, "Well, she can't knock me out," and it's like, if that's your only like metric of what equality is,
yeah,
very libertarian metric, and I don't have to knock you out. I just need a gun. If
yeah,
that if that's your whole metric, and I think what we're seeing is kind of that conversation stopping and people enjoying the game. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the NBA game has changed drastically. When the WNBA first comes to light, a lot of the criticism is that it's played not under the rim like the men's game is. They can't dunk and blah 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 blah. And remember, there was a whole big thing. Who was the dunk? Was it Cheryl Swoops that had the first dunk, or
Lisa Leslie.
it was Lisa Leslie? And it was like a whole big thing. It felt
Mhm.
kind of staged. Like, see, they can do it too. There was a lot of see, they can do it too. And the rise of women's sports, I think, has a lot less to do with they can do it too, and just women's sports. I don't know if it's getting better. There's just a lot more competitive women that have an avenue into professional basketball. If you think about softball, like I don't doubt there's some crazy monsters playing softball, but that game is way different than baseball.
Yeah, yeah, but you're absolutely right. Like when the WNBA comes out, it's played more like the NBA is played now,
Yes.
outside in, right? Like, and by outside in, usually the in comes off a missed outside shot. You jockey for the rebound on the putback. Um, but you know, they forget when people say shit like that. Um, and Mr. Crash, I agree completely. I agree with you 100%. Um, I love basketball. I love the professional game. College basketball kind of bores me to tears. Not gonna lie. Um, but you got to think from what, like the early '90s to probably the early 2000s, the
Mhm.
game was kind of boring.
Yeah,
It was a
very low scoring.
slow plodding pace. I'm a Cavs fan. I was happy when they were winning 45, 50 games competitive in the East under Mike Fratello, but that may have been the most boring basketball you were ever going to watch.
And the
And
Cavs
Fratello,
pulled that one out 78-52, a
dude,
blowout.
yeah, just like big night from the Cavs. Hot Rod Williams put up 11 and pulled down 8 rebounds, leading scorer for the team. Terrell Brandon had 8 points and 32 assists. It's, and it was like, bro, you're happy the Cavs are winning, but Claw could back me up. That shit was boring, man. I like this kind of fun and gun basketball we're playing now, right? Um, and I think now, with in regards to the women's game, you know, you've got fucking dominant shooters. You've got big inside post players. You know, you've got great team ball. You've got phenomenal individual, like performances on a nightly basis. And it's just like people just forget that the WNBA changed the same way that the
Mhm,
NBA did.
mhm,
Because if you look at the first champions in the WNBA, the Comets, remember Houston's team dominated there for about a 4-year run, and they played inside out, right? The New York Liberty had Rebecca Lobo. They played inside out. The Sparks, Lisa Leslie, they played inside out, right?
mhm,
And it's just the game changed. Shooting is a fine art that matriculated from Europe and the rest of the world and finally got to the United States, right? But I think what the WNBA is beating the NBA at right now, and Steve, that's exactly where I was going to go, is the WNBA is marketing individual players much better than the NBA right now, right? Yes, the NBA's got LeBron, they got KD, they got Steph. These are guys that are on the downside of their career, whether we want to admit it or not, right? In the next few years, we're going to have a league without any of those dudes. Who's stepping up to take that, to fill those spots, right? I don't think Adam Silver has really, decided who was going to do that. And when you look at a lot of the big stars, they're not US born,
no,
right? Like Giannis, he's Greek, speaks
yeah.
with an accent. Victor Wembanyama, French. Luca, Slovene, right? They all have accents. And if you think America as we know it now is going to want those guys pitching the game to them, come on, dude. Like, yeah, Nikola
It did
Jokic.
that's been a knock for a while with the NBA too, that there's no good white American stars. That's why this Cooper Flag kid deciding to stay, which I find interesting too. They were arguing about that, like why he should go to the NBA, and it's like it's NIL. It's a whole different world. The fear of hurting yourself your senior year and missing out on a big NBA paycheck, that's gone.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is, this is what drives me nuts because of honestly just how race focused this country still is.
Mhm.
And I don't mean that in like something we're working to eliminate, right? It's something that a large percentage of the population latches onto, and let's just say it, white people want the great white hope in every fucking sport, right? Boxing, there's always a great white hope. That's always a trope, right?
Mhm.
Basketball, it's coming back. They had it with Bird, you know, they had it with Nash and they forgave him for being Canadian, but he he was here for a long time, right? Um, but like why do we need a great white hope to enjoy the game? Why do we need that? You know, we if we're asking questions about basketball, we need to be asking the NBA to really look into what happened in Dallas, giving up Luca for like 3 pairs of sneakers and some basketballs, right? Like Luka is going to be one of the faces of the NBA. He's exciting. He's stupidly charismatic. Him in LA, dude? Fuck me. It's going to be nuts. Yeah, I mean,
A
that's
lot
another
more
good.
appearances on Law and Order, you're saying?
Oh, dude, he's going to be, doing small cameos and probably a couple sitcoms. I'd put money on it. Um, it's just, I hate that fucking shit, man. It drives me nuts because it's just like, dude.
But isn't this this is where I would add this, and this is kind of the sin of all this diversity bullshit. One of the Fox News commentators was talking about Cooper DeJean. I was saying the right Cooper this time. Returning that interception for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and how wonderful it was seeing someone that looked like him on the screen scoring a touchdown. You can shake your head all you want. You
You're
should
right.
shake your head when other people say it.
Yeah.
Always shake your head when someone says that shit. Like, really? It's 2025. It's not 1916.
Yeah.
Right? It's not 1965. It's not even 1975. It's 2025. And people still use that. So to see the reverse of it, I find it fucking hilarious. And it is interesting when you have most of a lot of the people, what was the two twin Cavendish twins? Cavendish twins. You have, of course, Caitlin Clark, and the WNBA has had always a host of white white American superstars. There does seem to be something about this particular one, and it's not a looks thing. It's definitely not a looks thing. It's kind of just a talent thing, which is also kind of nice to see. The rivalry, I definitely believe that the rivalry is totally race driven for a lot of people. A lot of people on both sides want to see it. If you think black people was like, we don't want to see Magic Bird because we're a type, fuck yourself, fuck you. You don't know any real ones then, because everybody loved that shit. Just like everybody was dancing when OJ got off. Don't ever think that this doesn't play on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know why it plays on both sides. But it's also, we have to remember that there's a 24-hour news media. I think Claw brought up a really good point about Magic and Bird. I think Magic and Bird does start from a place of true, like, this is interesting. These two guys, they're from not too far away.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think,
Indiana.
Magic played at Michigan State, and Bird played at Indiana State.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they played in the finals in college.
Yeah, it's this is the crazy thing is, like, you're only going to get one Magic and Bird, right? You can't repeat that. One, the game's changed far too much, right? You got to think in the 70s and 80s when the NBA started crazy expansion, okay? And you saw a lot of the team movement out west, which kind of threw off the balance of the league. You had a period of about 20 years where there were only 3 teams in the NBA that were going to be championship contenders. Lakers, Celtics, and then there was always a third, right? Occasionally it was the Bucks, with the man who would be known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who would then take his talents west, right? Occasionally it would be the Sixers, So, like, the league was very top heavy, period, right? Essentially, the regular season was for the Lakers to beat up the West, the Celtics to beat up the East, and then they would meet in the finals, right? That was the league, and you can't have that now. It's fucking impossible, right? You're going to get periods where you'll have steady finals appearances, like with the Spurs, right? How many titles did they win? Like 4 and 10, maybe, 5 and 10,
something like that. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Right. You had Golden State, they had their run, but see, like, there were a lot of teams that could have knocked them off at that point. I mean, look, when the Cavs beat them in the finals, down 3-1, and that was the year the Warriors set the league record for most wins in a season, right?
Yeah.
The league's different now. And when you look at the NBA or WNBA, right, that is a pretty wide open league too.
Yeah.
And when you keep injecting talent like Caitlin Clark, like Angel Reese, honestly, any of the women that play for the University of South Carolina, I don't know what Dawn Staley's putting in the water down there, but she just grows fucking professional basketball players now. You know, if you keep injecting talent in the league, every team is going to have a shot. You know what I mean? So, and especially in a much shorter season, they only play like 32 games, I think. You know, so it's nuts. You know, and having a rivalry like that, you know, like we'll say just put it in the Bird Magic context here, right? Can it be a rivalry like Bird and Magic when they're only going to see each other twice in the regular season and may not even see each other in the postseason? You know, no, you can't. It's not a thing. You know, like, and to keep, because I've seen that too. You know, readings, you know, about it. Because I don't listen to sports radio anymore. I feel like my brain can only be smoothed so much through brain trauma and explosions. I don't need it smoothed by listening to these idiots talk on the radio.
It's pretty bad, dude. It's pretty offensive. They ended up getting into, after that, they got into a discussion. I want to bring this up before we go, about Steph Curry. And they always start the discussion with, I'm tired of people saying, and then I always think, well, who are the people?
Yeah.
Like, is it people in the office? Is it things you're reading? Like, who are the people? But there's no, it's just, and you see it here in left media too. Everyone's telling me that I'm wrong. No one's telling you shit. Go fuck yourself. You live with your mom.
Your mom told you were wrong, and
your mom told you were wrong. Said you look like your father, and that's why she hates you.
Every time I see you, I just remember walking in the house and your dad has that horrible whore just sucking his dick on the couch.
So you look like your father and the whore.
Go be with that whore. Mom, I haven't had a girlfriend. You need to find one and get out of my basement.
I'm going in the basement. Tell everybody about the evils of other podcasters. They said Steph Curry wasn't one of the greatest of all time. He's not top 5 because he lost a finals, down 3-1.
Oh, come on.
And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, but how did he lose a final? And last I checked, those games were pretty close. I think there was a couple blowouts in that series, but for the most part, those games were pretty close.
It was a phenomenal series. And see, and this is the shit that pisses me off because, like, you know, as fans, we're guilty of it. You know, as pundits, we're guilty of it. You know, sorry, honey, but you are wrong. No, you're spamming cranberries. You know, but like this whole thing, like tying greatness to titles. Are we going to sit here and say that Elway's not an all-time great? Dude lost.
They tried to say that.
Dude, he lost way more Super Bowls than one, but he changed. He changed how the quarterback position was played.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to say Dan Marino isn't an all-time great? Fuck.
I love blowing smoke. Jim Kelly was he a first ballot? Was Jim Kelly first ballot?
Oh, dude, I can't remember.
But Marino definitely first ballot. And that's what the first thing I thought was like, well, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. And he really only sniffed the AFC Championship game a handful of times.
Yeah. Like, same thing with Kelly. He didn't just light one league on fire. He lit 2 leagues on fire. Remember, he was a USFL guy, right?
Yes. Throwing it all over the field.
Yeah. You know, like, and then with Steph Curry, we're never going to see another shooter like him again. The fucking, you know, way that he can hit. How does a man his size have a release that seems like it's 9 feet tall? He can shoot it over anybody. You know, the biggest knock you can have on him is his defense. And it's like, dude, you know, your left leg weighs more than Steph Curry, Jason, right? He's not a big man. So if he just acts as a speed bump for me as a coach, That's all I need from you, dude. Because you know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get spot on shooting. I'm going to get good ball distribution. And for whatever reason, I don't know how he does it. Maybe because he's not a big man. He's a sneaky rebounder,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, like, when I hear people say shit like that, I think it's nonsense. It's just the same thing with the LeBron and Michael Jordan comparison. LeBron James is a fucking defensive end that is one of the most skilled basketball players to ever put sneakers on.
That's gotten better. He got better as he got older as
Right?
well. Like, we have to remember that his game got more
Y-
refined as he got older.
Yeah. And it's because I think LeBron James knew as he got older, he would not be able to do the same things he did when he was 18 years old. That's a smart man,
Mm-hmm.
right? Jordan's game was different than LeBron's. Jordan played in a different time.
Yeah.
Now, if we stack championships, sure, man, Jordan's got him beat. But there are things on the court that LeBron can do that Jordan couldn't, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And you can't say either of them aren't top 5. I would put Steph Curry in the top 5, hands down.
This is a great comment. Elway was incredible in the 80s and early 90s. Nowadays, everything is framed by the media based on stats. Elway's early success goes against that. Even Dennis Rodman would be written off due to stats. Stats in today's game, yeah, because Elway won an MVP in 87. And people really weren't throwing for 4,000 yards as commonly as they do now. Even people like Marino.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
and you got to think, dude, Elway and Marino were doing it in the 80s when you still had a fullback that still touched the ball to
You
run.
two tight
Right?
sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
Opening the game in a 3 wide receiver package was unheard of.
yeah, like they're like, wait a minute, teams have more than 2 receivers? What the
What
fuck?
the heck is going on here? What in the year 3000 is this? This isn't rollerball.
But like in that kind of argument kind of pisses me off. Yeah, Curry didn't win when they were up 3-1. The Cavs just had a phenomenal run that last 4 games of that series.
Why can't it be the greatness of this is where the whole arguments to me are, first of all, they're worthless arguments. Like, let's just be honest. They're worthless arguments that don't mean anything. Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time? Is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback? I don't know. I kind of don't care. But I got to see both of those guys play, and they played some great football.
Yeah.
Being able to see, back to the Caitlin Clark thing, seeing her play, it's kind of fun. And I always used to say, as soon as men wear women's NBA jerseys, that's how you know the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
When I say over, I mean going over, like they use in wrestling, is we're going to make you a star. And that's happening with the WNBA. So these are good things. This is crazy progress that I didn't think we'd see in my lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine, dude, even 10 years ago, could you imagine seeing a dude wearing like a Caitlin Clark jersey or Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum?
No, just the team's sweatshirt. Oh, fuck no.
Dude, I went out to the bar last weekend. I saw a dude in a Paige Bucher's UConn jersey.
Feeling real comfy.
Bro, he was all about it. He was watching the game on TV, fucking into it. Come to find out, he's actually from Connecticut. Huge like Huskies fan. And he's like, dude, he's shorter than me, and I'm 5'8". And he's like, one day I'm gonna marry Paige Buchers. He's a soldier, right? And I'm like, bro, she's like over a foot taller than you. He's like, I'll climb that tree. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
But would you agree though that a lot of the WNBA appreciation, because a lot of the women are lesbians, has less to do with their physical attraction and more to do with what they're doing on the court?
I mean, yeah. If you enjoy sports and like watching skilled players, the WNBA is there for you too. You know what I mean? Like phenomenally skilled players in that league. There always has been. It's just we had different expectations for basketball. He's gonna have to go. He can just stand there. She like lifts up a leg, puts it on like the arm of the couch, But and I don't even think like there are a lot of gay players. But I don't even think, you know, that matters right now. I think the head of marketing for the WNBA is doing a phenomenal job just marketing the players that they have, because it seems like, you know, I love All-Star Weekend because that's where players get more one-on-one time with the fans, right? And I think we have some great players that make time for, you know, a picture, an autograph, a couple words, right? The NBA, like, you got to think after a game, what are you expected to do? I got to shower. I got to get out there for the press conference. We get on the bus going back to the hotel. And in a couple hours, I'm getting on the plane and I'm going to the next city, right? It seems like the WNBA, there's more time for players to get involved with fans because there's not, like, I guess, the same requirements on them now. But I think that could change as the league continues
Oh,
to
it's going to
grow,
change as soon as the league gets more
right?
successful. Sadly,
Yeah. But like, I think
yeah.
that's where they're making their money, dude, because the running joke when you and I were growing up and WNBA started was only gay women like the league, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember the jokes like, yeah, go to a WNBA game, you're just going to see Subarus parked in the parking lot, like, and it's like, it's not like that now, like, okay, I'm from Northeast Ohio. There was a lot of built-in homophobia and racism and there's a lot of bad shit there, okay?
It's just really
Well, dude, Jason, like, you haven't heard that? Like,
fun.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like that.
It's just Subarus parking.
Well, like when I joined the army, I had a squad leader that was like, when you first get to a unit, the squad leader and your team leader, they're showing you around. They're, showing you the ropes.
Mhm.
They're like, yeah, that parking lot, see all those Subarus? Every woman in that unit's gay, so you don't need to be over there.
Damn.
And I was like, what? I was like, every gay woman does not own a Subaru. And on this particular part of post, yeah, that was kind of true. But like, I always give my daughter shit now. I'm like, you want your first car to be a Subaru? And she's like, that's not a funny joke, Dad. That's not a funny joke.
I don't
Claw,
know.
are you serious? Subaru like markets to gay women? That's
Well,
fucking crazy.
they understand where their bread is buttered. At some point,
what?
you got to understand that that's what the NBA does that the NFL doesn't do. The NBA understands you people watch this game, so we're going to do some things for you people and keep making all this revenue. Like the BLM stuff, the NFL was like, no, not on my watch. And the NBA was like, you want to use the stadium to have a BLM rally and you guys all take off your jerseys because your owner said some extremely racist things? Sure. We'll let you have all the protests. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had that discussion, what was it, last year, about how Adam Silver, if we're talking like the big four commissioners, he's probably doing the best job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giving players a platform to speak their mind. I mean, because who did the Fox News host lash out at? It was the NBA players.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, just shut up and dribble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah. Right. Tommy Lauren, I think she's the one that said it. Could have been somebody else.
No, it was the old white lady.
Okay, well, see, they all look the same to me on Fox.
Wow.
So,
damn.
Yeah.
We're coming for you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Coming for you, cracker. But yeah, like, and I think that's important because what a lot of fans fail to realize is that players are people. They have a right to speak out against injustice. They have a right to air their opinions. They have a right to say whatever the fuck they want, for good or bad. Because, I mean, look, we had guys speaking out, against extrajudicial police killings. And then you have Kyrie Irving that's talking about vaccinations are bad and the earth is flat, So, like, good or bad, Adam Silver's like, you know what? Go out. You want to make yourself look like an idiot? Go ahead, guys. I don't care. Do not make the league look bad. That's all I'm asking. Because when Kyrie says the earth is flat, Adam Silver can just go, that's what Kyrie thinks. The NBA
Mm-hmm.
has no comment on whether the earth is a sphere or flat. So take that for what it is, like but and that's great. In the NFL, go ahead and try and do that. Team owners will hit you up for conduct detrimental, they'll fine you, and if you do it again, they suspend you. I mean, fuck, Marshawn Lynch got fined over $100K just because he didn't want to speak at a press
He
conference.
didn't want to speak.
You
Do
know?
you think though that the game suffers a bit? I'll say the Magic and Bird personalities were kind of more quiet when it came to the media, and they just kind of played. And again, this is in an era before 24-hour media, so I don't know if they can exist in this current media landscape. Especially as Magic is a very vocal person now that microphones get shoved in his face all the time.
Oh yeah.
Caitlin's pretty quiet for the most part.
Yeah, and honestly, can you blame her? I feel like that poor woman has the weight of the league on her shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Like if she farts in the wind wrong, she's gonna have a part of the population.
She didn't even do anything, and she was this focal point of a conversation on a big national radio show.
Yeah.
But do you agree though that these newer athletes, these younger athletes, probably from the last 10 years or so, are a lot more media savvy? Number one, and number two, everything they say after a game, even after a crazy win or loss, is so I can't upset my sponsors or my potential sponsors.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's good to be media savvy, especially now when you have, like you said, the 24-hour news cycle and dickhead pundits and, bloggers that just pick apart every word you say. And I think that has more to do with it, that with them being guarded with their words than like pissing off the sponsors. The sponsors, all they want to know is, are you going to be able to sell Sprite?
Yeah.
Right. That's it. Are your sneakers still going to move? That's it. Right. So, I mean, I hate to bring him up because he's not here anymore, but Kobe Bryant, he lost sponsorship for what, a year? Maybe two?
After the sexual assault.
Yeah. And he was back to slinging drinks and sneakers. Right. But I think it's because, like, you don't want to wake up in the morning and see yourself tagged on fucking like Instagram and Twitter with just dickheads picking your words apart when all you said was, yeah, we played a really good game. It was rough. We had a couple hard fouls, and then you get somebody that's like, oh, hard fouls. That means, and it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
This is also a different era too, where you can avert scandal with bot armies. Like, I don't know if you remember in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, a friend brought this up to my attention, that Depp's lawyers had hired bot armies to talk shit about anyone that said anything to Amber Heard, and it really helped his media. It helped with media narratives. Social media is a powerful tool, and that sounds like, yeah, of course it is, but on another level nowadays. And
I mean, dude, you have whole firms now with like media firms that have wings dedicated to just bot farming.
It's fucking insane. So I get why people are afraid to say the wrong thing, or do bad things. I think that plays into kind of a boring game as well.
Yeah, but like, I get it, especially considering how vindictive social media is.
Oof.
Look at the Cavender twins, case in point, right? Only one of them played last season, and they were talking about how they weren't going to come back and play. They decided to do it. They're both back at University of Miami this season, and they caught shit for it. Oh, you're only popular because, you're attractive white girls, right? I think that's why a lot of people glommed onto them, but they both have some skill. One of them is better than the other. Like, that's just It's the truth. But they're joined at the hip, and that's okay. But they went on like Jake Paul's fucking podcast.
Gross.
Yeah. And essentially they essentially said that they just got really burned out trying to do like the influencer thing plus basketball plus the business interests that they're into. And they had to take a break, and then they got together and decided, hey, we're going to go back. And people immediately lashed out like, oh, you're so fucking wishy-washy, and it's just like, dude, who gives a fuck, man? They're in their early 20s.
But I'm more interested to see what happens with them, because I think they're more emblematic of a time, a new paradigm shift, than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I think Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are more part of an older generation, even though they're super young, but they're still part of the media savvy. Don't say the wrong thing. Go out there and play. Angel Reese seems to be a little bit more not afraid to say stuff on camera. I get it. And I went to McDonald's on the way to Irvine in Oceanside, California, and there was a big thing at Angel Reese. There's an Angel Reese meal at McDonald's. So, she's not saying anything too controversial. But when you see these young kids at the high school level, to your point, understand themselves as brand, and this is a lot what I wrote about in this latest thing that's coming out for Damage when it comes to young kids using steroids. Everyone is branding themselves as something, even in the political space. I'm a Marxist-Leninist. I'm a this, I'm a that. It's like, well, who the fuck talks like that? That's a newer thing. Like, why would you need to announce that before you speak? That's how cult people talk.
Yeah.
And the fact that these young people see themselves as brand and understand every moment as a branding opportunity, everything has to be shared. All of your life is content. The game is probably going to suffer because the game isn't as the content isn't as immersive as you walking around a city street at a restaurant with friends, and that's going to get more engagement than the game itself. So can these young women that are navigating a whole new world in a whole different way that we've never seen before, kind of like the Hawk Tuah chick, Stacey or Haley Welsh, she, for me, it was an interesting story because you have this girl that's not even more interesting than the two girls they talked about. I thought her friend was more interesting than her, but she says this thing in this golly shucks fucking accent while she's a little bit intoxicated, hides for a while, and really, she only peeks her head out into the public because people probably in her family are telling her there's some people making money off your name.
Yeah.
You should at least try to claim this money. And she finds herself so in over her head with this crypto stuff. And that's also another part of influencing in this modern era, is as the Elon Musks of the world and the Andrew Tates of the world kind of tell you that the only way to be successful is kind of live your life in this ruleless libertarian way. And all money is good money. Even people like Adam 22 have a meme coin that they dropped that was another Haley Welch type scam. So there's just so much money to be made in like the crypto space.
Yeah.
That you'd be foolish to think that these two twins are only going to advertise basketball related things or maybe even makeup or hair related things. No, someone can go up to, hey, I'll give you $10-20 million to have a twin coin.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're offering, hey, here, can you hawk this athletic gear? We'll put your name on it. But, it's made in a sweatshop, similar to Lululemon, I mean, that's the kind of the microcosm that we're living in now. Right. I mean, when you think about Steph Curry's career, the only thing you could really knock him about is his fucking embrace of crypto. He was one of Sam Bankman's, initial fucking celebrity spokespeople, And he caught a little more hell for that than Tom Brady because, I mean, fuck, Tom Brady, he's had a lot of fucking dodgy investments. The whole TB12 holistic lifestyle thing, like Deflategate. Like, come on, dude. Like, yes, exactly, JC. All fucking meme coins are just a setup for a rug pull. I mean, the fucking president of Argentina just did one.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be this weird moment, and if you're a basketball player and a good basketball player, and you make it to the professional level, male or female, doesn't matter, but you're also a celebrity first. We can name a handful of people that were celebrities first before they played professionally. You and I don't know if you're old enough to remember Todd Van Poppel.
I do remember TVP. Yeah.
Todd Van Poppel was one. Jason Kidd's another.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into Kobe. But I don't even know if Kobe had a Sports Illustrated article while he was still in high school.
Oh, he did. He most certainly did. Yeah. He was actually
was it right before he came out?
His senior year of high school. He was on the cover.
Okay, LeBron.
Oh yeah, he had multiple covers,
But this is a small amount of people that were literally celebrities before they got into the professional arena, and only one of those names we named never really panned out, and that's Todd Van Poppel. I don't remember how many years he actually played in the major leagues.
I think he played 7 or 8 years, but you got to think after his third or fourth, like he had that really bad leg break or like lower bad knee injury.
I remember that.
Yeah, and he was just like he was a salary filler for trades at the end of his career because he signed.
He played, and that's cool. And he threw really hard at a young age, which was new at the time, I guess. Now everybody's throwing really hard.
Yeah.
But the point is, what happens when you're a celebrity, your meme coin doesn't hit, or your celebrity relationship, like one of the twins is dating, is it Carson Beck? Is that his
Carson
name?
Beck, yeah. And the other one is dating. And the other one's dating the starting tight end for the Cowboys.
So yeah, one convinced her boyfriend to go to Miami, so Beck just transferred to Miami. Mm-hmm. That relationship is going to take up a lot of the oxygen in the air. How does that affect their playing career when they go try to play professional? That's the bitch that dumped Carson Beck and made him have a shitty super season year or whatever. You know what I mean? Or that's the chick that had the meme coin that did the rug pull, and fuck her. That has nothing to do with what you're doing play-wise. And it feels like in every aspect of life, your drama that you can drum up is more important than the thing you actually do. I don't know what movie Johnny Depp has been in since the Amber Heard trial. I'm sure he's been in something. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But that Heard trial, and even Amber Heard, I don't know what the fuck she's done since that trial. Hip hop music to me, I don't know songs. I know drama. Drama is way more important than songs. Outside of They Not Like Us, there's not too many songs from that Drake Kendrick battle that people have on repeat. So it's a lot of everything's about drama, even politically.
Yeah.
We care more about personalities. Elon Musk isn't the only really rich guy that's running roughshod over democracy. There's this other guy that's been doing it for decades by the name of Bill Gates, and he's doing it again. Nobody cares because he's not the celebrity gossip.
Bring up the name Peter Thiel.
Right?
How many people know about him? And it's like, oh, you don't know Peter Thiel? He's the guy who literally set JD Vance up to be the vice president of the United States. Yep. Like, come on. And like you said, if you're not developing drama to increase a following, which, let's face it, that's always been Elon Musk's MO, right? He's always wanted to be the superstar CEO. Mm-hmm. And that's why he got kicked out of his first company, because he's dumber than a box of rocks. He doesn't know how to run a company. He wanted to be a co-founder of a company that is going to put him on the map. Well, he's not a co-founder of Tesla, people. He's not. He sued to be considered a co-founder. He just invested money. You know, like that's just who he is, man. And yeah, that's a good point. People get way too invested in women athletes' relationships. You know, and that's what kills me. Like, you have supposed sports journalists that hassle um women athletes. Like, who are you dating? Well, dude, it's none of your fucking business who I'm, like, that's exactly how I would come off, right? It is not, you know, it's not your business. Yeah, Trinity Rodman, there's another one. Like,
It's
she
a
might
great point. Yeah.
be the best women's soccer player she is the best women's soccer player in the country and one of top 5 in the world, probably. Um, but every time she comes up in the media, what's it about?
Her dad.
Yep.
And she didn't really know him growing up.
No, it was Dennis fucking Rodman. He couldn't decide to be a husband, let alone a goddamn father. Like, it's let that woman sit there and play the game she's amazing at
Yeah.
and talk to her about the match, right? Don't catch her coming off the field, which I've seen once or twice. So you think your dad's watching you play right now? And how that woman maintains her, demeanor, and not just rip that reporter's head off. I have no clue. She's coming off the pitch, after fucking 80 minutes. Like, come on, dude, 90 minutes. And it's just like, can we talk about how great me and my teammates played? But no, you want to ask me if my dad's watching, like, come on.
Did you talk to your dad before the game?
Yeah. So, knowing that Dennis Rodman's your father, he played in a lot of championships, has he given you any advice, like how to, get ready for these big matches? I've spoken to him 6 times in my life. And
I've heard her say crazy shit like that.
Yeah,
but that kind of goes to show that this to me is the sad part about where we are with sports. There's some cool stuff happening in sport, in pretty much every sport. I hate the Dodgers with all of my soul. My soul
new BTR rule is they're now officially the evil empire. Like,
I'm okay with that after that pickup.
Yeah, we don't call them by their proper name anymore. They got their name after dodging trolleys in Brooklyn. They're just the Los Angeles evil empire now. Period.
I'm okay. I'm totally okay with that because I'll keep in mind I live somewhere where everybody's a goddamn Dodger fan. But I can't lie and say that watching Ohtani and Mookie Betts isn't some of the best baseball I've seen in the last 20 years.
Dude, it's phenomenal. Watching Shohei Ohtani is watching poetry in motion.
So fucking great. Fucking great.
And you got a guy like Mookie who was ridiculously disrespected by Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a franchise that is royally kicking themselves in the ass right now, it's Boston. I don't know what trade was, which LA franchise got one over more, the Lakers or the Dodgers, when they picked up.
Because Mookie Betts bashed in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the thing is, he can play anywhere on the field. Like,
he bashed in the series,
right? Dude, I guarantee you, if you went up to the Mookie and you're like, "Hey, dude, I know first base isn't tough, but we need to give the guy a day off. You mind sliding over and playing the boring corner for a little bit?" Mookie's like, "Bet, dude." And he just puts on like a fucking Gold Glove performance there. Like, Mookie Betts is a phenomenal baseball player.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to watch. I love Mookie Betts. I wish the Guardians would actually spend money, because, like, it's great watching all our former players play phenomenal for other teams. Like, it's.
But I mean, look, you got really good NBA basketball right now. That's pretty exciting to watch a lot of these games.
Dude, this thing is NBA season this year.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was going to be weird when the Cavs come out and rip off like 15 straight wins.
That was crazy.
Right? Like, these are the baby Cavs. They kind of got steamrolled in the playoffs. They got a new coach and Kenny Atkinson, who didn't have a great, time in Brooklyn, but what coach has, honestly. and he just gets these baby calves together. He's got two bigs on the court at the same time. And dude, we're just fucking Heismaning teams just all over the place. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Right. And who's the power in the West? Oklahoma City. The oldest player on that team, I think, is 17. Like it's crazy. Like we got used to seeing like LeBron led teams and Steph led teams and KD, and it's like, dude, KD hasn't really done shit since he left Golden State. Not on a team level. Individually, yeah, he's Kevin Durant, right? But he hasn't made any of the teams he's went to, Brooklyn or Phoenix, better. I'd argue Phoenix was much better before they swing the trade for Durant.
They won a title before, right?
No, they played in the finals.
Yeah, they lost.
And I love kind of like the topsy-turvy nature of the league this year. I think it's a lot of fun when we see like weird seasons pop off every so often, because the Lakers are never going to be down long, and let's face it, who saw that Luka trade coming?
Nobody.
Fucking nobody.
Nobody saw it.
Right. So as you prepare for your like the post LeBron landscape of the NBA, you get a generational superstar who willed his team into the finals last year for like an LA Metro fast pass and, free drinks at the crypto.com arena. You have to buy your own tickets, but you get free drinks, and that's what they gave up for Luka. And I'm not trying to knock AD here, but like, guy is oft injured. When he's on the court, he's phenomenal, but he can't stay on the court. And how many games did he play for Dallas before he's out again? Got one game in, So like LA just set themselves up like they always do. When they've got a superstar going out, they always manage to reload with another one that's going to be there a while, right? So, it's just, I think the NBA is a lot of fun this year. I think Major League Baseball, even with the evil empiring, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
What pitcher they pick up again? I can't remember the name of the pitcher.
Sasaki.
Yeah,
Roki Sasaki.
Roki Sasaki. Yeah. Oh God, there was so much Padre drama around that because I get the San Diego station. And those guys they're still upset. Every time I get in my car, I hear someone complain about the fumbling of that deal.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, the owner of the Padres passed away last year.
Yeah. They were talking about that. Yeah.
So now you've got family fighting over the team. If you really think they're going to pull the trigger and spend money, come on. You know how litigious that shit goes. The Orioles were awful for decades because the name of the family that owns a team escapes me, but the owner was going senile. His kid stepped up, and then a younger brother was like, well, I want in. And they just started a huge fight over the team. Right. And they didn't spend any money and they were doormats, and now team sold. And they're a phenomenal young team, So like, and then when we talk about like the NHL, I like hockey. So, I've thought it's a lot of, I've enjoyed this season. I'm kind of bummed the Kraken just look like doormats right now, but it is what it is. In the NFL, we just finished up a phenomenal season.
Wow. We had a 2,000-yard rusher and the guy right behind him ran for 1,900.
Yeah. We saw the renaissance of the running back. Lamar Jackson did Lamar Jackson shit. There is such a good young player base in the NFL right now that it's a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. And then you still have a lot of like kind of big personalities that are in their primes, big names, McCaffrey, AJ Brown, guys that make the game fun to watch. And I'm really interested to see how do some of the teams that are down, how do they try and get back into it? Yes, just dude, MLS is even fun. I'm going to Charlotte FC match middle of next month. So I'm looking forward to that. We're surrounded by just a lot of good sports to watch. And I will say this, rather than pissing and moaning,
Mhm.
just go and enjoy it, man. And I'm not like, dude, let's be honest. I mean, we all know, like, we're getting priced out of these games now to go see in person.
Oh, I haven't seen a professional sporting match
Yeah. I'm
forever.
only going to Charlotte FC because I'm getting a free ticket, right? But I still enjoy myself immensely if I'm watching at home. Like, my son will be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to give football a shot." He gets through the first half and then he just flitters off to do something else. But you know what? I got an hour and a half to hang out with my fucking kid, watch a game I love, try and explain it to him. Dude, that's fun for me. You know?
There's still good. I don't know. I don't see the sky for me isn't falling, whether a female is a superstar of the basketball of all basketball or not. The sky isn't falling if Patrick Mahomes isn't the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
I just know we're seeing really fun sports.
Yeah. And I'd say we're like in a transition period too.
Oh
Kind of
god.
like, when sports were going from like the 60s to the 70s, we're seeing the more business side of the sport.
Yeah.
And all the old heads are like, God damn it, where's Chuck Bednarik with his broken leg playing center and nose tackle? Well, dude, those guys aren't part of the game anymore. I would rather see Saquon do a backwards jump and run for 2,000 yards than Chuck Bednarik like punch somebody through their face mask in the face.
The single
Okay?
bar.
Yeah,
The single bar.
Guys are wearing kickers face masks, playing on the line. It's just like, you know, we're in a point of transition. That's okay. We could say that Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in sports right now. And you wouldn't be wrong to say that. She's one of the most recognizable athletes.
Yeah.
People are tripping over themselves to get tickets to the games that she's in, live events. And on top of that, ESPN is finally going to launch like a standalone streaming service to pick up so that like they don't have to piggyback off like Hulu or YouTube TV, because when Caitlin's on, what happens? A lot of people come on and it overloads servers.
And again, she's not doing it in this traditional, let's make sure she's a sex symbol. Because if you ever see her in street clothes, she just looks awkward. She looks like the quintessential athlete that she has to be wearing sweatpants at all times.
She looks like she played hard for 40 fucking minutes,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and she looks like she practices as hard as she plays.
Yeah.
She looks like, honestly, she looks like a woman that's just like, dude, I work, right? And I travel. And when I'm out in public, like going to Publix just to get some food to eat, I'm going to be comfortable. So leave me the fuck alone, like just.
Is that a good thing for society as a whole? Like, I kind of opened up the whole conversation saying that a lot of people think the sky is falling because of the new administration and a regression of certain things, but I don't know if people themselves are actually regressing. I think we actually have matured despite the fact that this administration is in play. I still don't see people feel comfortable to say, hey, that's gay.
Yet Jason sends pics of Caitlin in street clothes to Bert with the cat.
No, I don't. But Matt can attest to the pictures I do send.
Guys, if he sends 5, 1 I agree with, and the other 4, I'm like, what is wrong with you? And at this point, I think Jason is just like, I'm not heterosexual. I'm not homosexual. I'm just sexual. He's just looking to bang, man.
You didn't think that chick with no legs that was twerking was cute?
Dude, stop. Stop.
I thought she was cute.
I think you just found a new fetish you're into, and you're just like all into it.
By the way, that one chick I sent you, I said smash, and you were like, "That's gross." I played that on the champagne room, and everyone agreed with you. So far, everyone has agreed with you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Mercutio, the videos he's sending, I'm worried it's going to infect my feed too.
The shit Max says in response is so funny. Just stop, man. It's not cool. Because I can hear, I was reading them in your voice and I couldn't stop laughing. And every time you would tell me to stop, another one would pop up. I'm like, I have to say this.
Dude, yeah. I mean, guys, he machine gunned like 10 of them. And I'm like, okay, right? And like I hit play on the one. I'm like, yes, he sends me like this goth woman in a very skimpy swimsuit. She's got tattoos and piercing. And I'm like, yes, that's more like it. And then I get the woman amputee that had these prosthetics where she kind of walked on all fours.
Yeah, she took the legs off.
And Jason just follows it up with smash. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, dude.
She's cute.
Dude, if you're into it, I mean, I'm not going to kink shame anybody. You know, I'm not that dude. Because, like, if it makes you happy and it's between two consenting adults, go for it, man. Like, Jason, if you were like, Mac, I like to get wrapped in saran wrap and have women shit on me. You know what? I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm not going to partake. Jesus, Mercutio. I don't think anybody can quite do Vouch degeneracy.
They're all of age. I mean, they're older. I'm into women my age.
Yeah, and with the flattest of butts. Just
no long. Mm-hmm. That big woman I sent you, she had a long butt.
Dude, her butt went down to her knees, man. It was frightening.
Yeah, but it was a lot of it to the knees. It wasn't like fucking just a long back. She had a lot of everything. Shoulders.
In the words of the U, she's a big back. I get it.
Yeah. Behind the knee is fourth hole.
No, my brother.
Now that we've talked seriously about women's professional basketball for over an hour, which WNBA players would you smash? That's from Mr. Crash.
Okay, Mr. Crash. You should already know this question by now, or the answer to this question. It's Asia, period. I would love to take her out for a nice dinner, be a gentleman, show up with flowers. I would even spend like $200 on a nice cologne to wear around her.
Damn, that's love.
Just for her.
That's fucking love, dude.
Just for her to tell me, you have to be at least 6 feet to ride this ride. You know?
Tell us what you know what I want to know? I want to know what your guys' definition on I'm sprung is. I don't want to say love because it's different. But let's just say I'm sprung. I'm going to use an old, maybe antiquated term.
I think that's a proper term. It's between lusting and love. You're sprung.
You're sprung, right? If you're
perfect.
When we were kids, I was talking to a friend the other night. When we were kids, the main test, if you were serious about a woman, we'd ask you where you would take her. Like, would you take her to the blah, blah, blah? Would you take her to the blah, blah, blah? And we'd always be trying to one up. So we'd be like, would you take her to the black mall? And if they said, yeah, then you would have to one up that if you didn't really believe them. Like, would you take her to the barbershop? And the barbershop we went to is a place that no longer exists. If you've ever seen the movie Coach Carter, that dude owned it.
Okay.
And Carter owned it. And it was like this wild place in Richmond. And where I grew up, Richmond, California. And if you took your girl to the barbershop with you, you better be ready and she better be cool, because if not, you're getting roasted.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a relationship end. Barbershop killed a relationship.
Dude, there's a reason why, you got to be careful to who you bring to your barbershop. Like, I went to when I had hair and I had to get haircuts, dude, I only went to one place, and now that I only have my beard, I only let one person touch my beard.
Oh, really?
Yo,
you get it trimmed up at the spot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no shit. That's serious.
Well, dude, if I like having it cleaned up. I haven't been doing it because, like, I'm fucking borrowing my buddy's car and I'm not driving around Fayetteville in my buddy's car. Pound Town, USA. That's what I'm taking. Oh man,
Mr.
Prairie.
Crash, I'm very clear with my white girlfriend that she ain't coming to the barbershop. Mr. Crash, if you have hair and you still go to a barbershop and it is a black barbershop, you have to take her. I hope she's watching right now, and I hope I cause a horrible fight in your house. I mean, not too horrible, but one of those fights where you get in the car the next day, like, man, fuck that. Like that, just that much.
He's
If
hits
you
the
take her
starter
to
button
the-
in his car, and he's like, "Fucking Jason, I swear to."
I had to. I was so. I don't know if retarded is the right word, but I really believed in that. Like, you have to take her to the barbershop. My first wife. She had to meet these people. You know, and if they were, oh yeah, and we saw Jay's girl, oh she's cute, she seemed cool. My boy took his chick. She was cute, super cute. She was Latin, and she had the J-Lo ass when this is like the 90s, so the J-Lo ass is like finally a thing, motherfucker. Damn, she got J-Lo at. She had shitty attitude. Clown the fuck out of him. Clown the fuck out of him. Shit was done.
Now, this is an important question. Can Joey take his wife to the barber?
Oh, Joey, I hope you're watching and or listening. And we don't know what Joey is, but we assume Joey's white. I don't know why.
I think it's because he's a guy named Joe that goes by Joey.
He could be black as the ace of spades with a do-rag on right now, making greens in the kitchen. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that he's
yeah. I don't know many black Joeys.
yeah, not at a certain age.
Yeah, I'm 43, and I can't say I've met one. I've met some black Joes, even a black Joseph. Don't call me Joe, man. Don't call me Joe. My name's Joseph. Don't shorten it up. Ladies don't seem to care about bench press or visible abs, but my 400-pound hip thrusts get her attention. I love President's Day.
Shout out to Prairie Fire Kowalski with the thirst trap shots on his Tinder profile. I'm only flexing this hip thrust, so you know you finna get pounds per square inch in your special place.
Yep.
I'm fucking a hole in the mattress.
Just like JD Vance does a couch.
I want to know the spot where when you're sprung on someone, you were like, I feel so confident with so and so. And even if you're married with somebody, you don't have to be in a heterosexual. None of this matters. If you think that matters and you've never been in these places, shit doesn't matter. If you bring your partner in, that motherfucker is not cool, everybody's talking shit.
Honestly, for me, it would be the dive bar I've been going to since I got stationed here. We all know each other, right? We've been friends for almost 20 years for the most part, right? And at the very least, at least a decade. And if you bring your partner in there and they can't hang, dude, this podcast is like trying to put a gooning session into dialect. Oh, God.
God damn.
Can you imagine, Marx? We're going to talk about the dialectic, the dictatorship of the gooning? What is this gooning? Oh, that's the gooning. I like the gooning. Yeah, that's very nice. That is very sehr gut. Now, how do we goon? And if you die while gooning, you go to a gooneral. Funny play on words. In the dictatorship of the proletariat, we enjoy clever wordplay like that.
Yeah. In the classless society, every funeral is a gooneral. There you go. That's how you know you won.
Yep.
So Max says it's the bar by his house that is the place where he can take. If you find Mac in the street and he likes you, You know he really likes you when he goes, "Hey, think about getting a drink after dinner? I know this great bar."
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone at the bar is gonna look. They're gonna go, "Hey, oh, who's that? Oh," and they'll be nice real quick because they want to see if she's a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. And it's like not a place that puts up with bullshit. Right. So
Mhm.
like you can come off and be bitchy, bro. You're gonna get clowned out
Oh,
of there.
that's
You
what
know?
my boy. That's what happened to my boy. His nice. Well, I mean, later she became. We were young, but man, she just kind of came across a little bitchy. And what did them motherfuckers say? Psh, she ain't that fine. Ain't nobody that fine.
Dude, Kush said lumpengooners.
Dictatorship of the Goonitariat, says Mr. Trash. I want to know. Look, I want to know. So people are saying the TIR chat is where you take a woman. That's funny because I'm terrified for anyone that I would see seriously to watch any show, even the serious shows. Like I try to be real, like matter of fact. I have a podcast. I think I told you this. I might have said it on air. Like I met up with someone, and she was on the phone with a friend of hers, and she was like, "Oh, I'm waiting for this guy." She's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm waiting for this guy. I'm over here by the border," because I was walking across the border to meet up with her. And her friend was like, "Oh, what does he do?" She goes, "He lives in Mexico. What does he do?" She goes, "Oh, he has a podcast." She didn't say where. The girl was like, "Oh, he's a black guy, right? He lives in Rosarito. I know that show." That was not what I expected. So I get there, and she tells me about this, and she goes, "And my friend said, you're a Marxist, huh?" I was like, "Oh, that is that drying you out, or is that ruining the chance to like what is?"
So what I need you to do is say smash. I know I'm dead. Or here's this balloon and a needle. Pop it. I know I'm not dead.
That's the best. I should. Here you go. I'm a Marxist. All right, no pop. Okay,
All right, we're good. We're good.
good.
Okay.
Oof.
Whew. Well, what's funny is like I told a woman I was talking to that like, you know, we do the sports show on Wednesdays, but I'm like, you know, Jason does a lot of like heavy hitting shit. A lot of smart guys on a show. She's like, I'm gonna watch.
Oh.
And she watched, I think, one of the Mau Mau episodes with you and Pascal.
Oh.
And she's like, when you said his name was Jason, I didn't know he was black.
Fuck.
And I was like, well, there are black men named Jason, you know? And she goes, they talk a lot about like collectivism. I'm like, just say like,
Yeah,
say what you mean, right?
I say the C word.
You know, and she's like, but a lot, she's like, it seems to me a lot of it's like black power
Oh,
and
God.
like, and I was like, I wouldn't call it black power.
No, we'd be a little offended if you did.
You know, I was like, he talks a lot about black issues and, you know, and especially with Pascal, I was like, Pascal is a prolific writer
Mhm.
and social commentator. So I was like, when you watch episodes with those two, it's going to be like really heavy. And I was like, trust me, there are times where I watch them and I'm like, okay, I have my other screen up. I'm Googling shit Pascal's talking about. I'm like,
Yeah, especially with that guy. Yeah.
you know, and she's like, and they let you like be part of this? And
What would a pitch?
I was like, yeah, something tells me this is going to go off the rails. And literally for like the next hour we're hanging out, she's like asking about like politics and shit. And she's like, well, you know, I'm a Democrat. I'm like, okay. And
Yeah,
you know,
like I was still like, you can be a fucking pixie queen. I don't give a shit.
yeah. And she's like, well, how's this going to work? And I was like, well, I'm not going to go to Harris rallies with you. You know, like, I don't know, man.
I'm not going to wear that I'm with her shirt you spy.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you to take down the Hope Obama poster
Yeah.
from your room when we're having sex. You know, I don't
Ooh,
want
that's
Obama
oof.
watching me while I like am just face down in your lap. You know,
Just judging you as he judging every stroke. That's not where I want to be when Jesus comes.
now listen, Mac. You should be thrusting just a little bit harder in there. You know, work as hard for her as I did for America.
And then you just get limp.
Yeah, just
the
the AMA sucked, bro. Okay, it wasn't good.
JC says, in this house.
In this house, Mac, we deliver those long, deep strokes. Oh, I'm sorry, Obama. I got to work with what I'm working with, okay? Like, come on.
Did you hear Chad Ochocinco said he was fucking a chick and she said go deeper and he couldn't, so he got the dick extension surgery?
No.
You haven't seen the interview?
No.
It's fucking, I can't tell if I think he's not being serious, but he's like, she said go deeper and I was hurt because that was as deep as I go.
Bro, if that happened to me, I'd take that to my grave. Right?
He was talking about it.
I'm not going on a podcast, right? Like Jason, even in my most like stoned, drunk, chemically induced ridiculousness, I'm not sharing that with everybody here. Like Jason, some woman told me to go deeper and I couldn't. So yeah, I haven't paid rent in 3 months or my car payment, but my dick is like a foot long now. Where are you living, Mac? And the car I haven't paid for.
Yeah, the car I can't barely make payments on.
Yeah.
I got a foot of dick. I got a foot of dick. Every woman says no, but they really mean yes.
Yeah. They like looking at me in sweatpants. Okay, I know it.
He said it to Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp was like, "Oh, she know you ain't no deep sea fisherman, Chad."
Oh my god,
These two are so retarded. Generally, these surgeries aren't good. I'm sure they're not. I'm seeing stuff about the leg extension surgery that's just like, first of all, it's like, why? You're a regularly sized human. Why? But yeah, that's a topic for another time. Mac, we went way past the time that you requested.
Well, we had a good conversation. Like we had a good topic,
New nickname. Max the Marxist Gigolo. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Max the Marxist Gigolo. I'm all for it.
If you know anybody that wants to be, the what was it? The the lumpentarian or the Goonitarian. Yeah, you want to know anybody that if you guys know anybody that needs to learn about the Goonitarian, just let me know. I'm there.
Wait.
Dude, Bad Lefty, you are not kidding.
You couldn't waterboard it out.
No.
To me, it's a ridiculous thing, in my opinion, to say that kind of shit on air unless it's a bit. I am not lying. That really did happen to me where I was like, oh, I heard you're a Marxist. Like, what does that mean? It's like, I don't know what that means in the context of us at this coffee bean and tea leaf.
Yeah, like it's more like you're lifting the coffee up and that comes out of her mouth and you're just like, great first hangout.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, what do I have to do a dance for you now? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Actually, in my wallet, I've got my Marxist like club card. It's similar to BJ's, but we, everything's free because we're Marxist,
My Marxist club card. When I was in DSA, I used to carry my DSA card around so I could say I was a card carrying socialist.
Dude, the only card I carry is my IWW card. That's it. Other than that, it's just like driver's license, debit card. But the woman is like, I love socialism. No, yeah.
National socialism. Wasn't Hitler a communist?
Socialist was in the name. So like, You hate Jews. You support Hamas, don't you?
Damn. It means we're splitting the bill. That's what that's the thing. It means we're splitting the bill. My fucking God. It's the most ridiculous thing.
And when they bring it up, you're like, to each according to their abilities, for each according to their needs.
Jason, you mean your noise check card? Yeah. I cut a lot of expenses, and that was one of them. I don't want my job to get in the way of a meaningful relationship. And at this point, I do try to look for people that aren't really plugged in online.
Yeah.
And don't really care about this kind of stuff, because I don't want to get done with, like, if I'm done with this, and I don't know if you're the same way. I do this so many days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. I'm doing 2 shows tomorrow, starting at 6 a.m. my time. Yeah, about the new Syrian regime. Got some reading to do when we're done tonight.
Oh my God. That's a ball buster, because I just tried reading about it and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It goes back some years.
Yeah.
Yes, 6 a.m. Anyway, and I'm live streaming it. We're not pre-recording it. I decided I'm not really going to do too many pre-records. I'm just going to stream the stuff live.
One day you guys are going to we're going to open up the YouTube channel. Jason's going live and he's just got like a coffee cup, just like, yeah, I got this guy on. We're going to talk about the shift in politics, why we're not going to send fucking money to Ukraine anymore. All right, important guy, come on and talk.
Yeah, important fella. Okay. Just do your spiel.
I've already got like 3 pots of coffee in me. I think I need to take a monster shit. I'm just gonna put you on camera, you know. Jason forgets to mute, and you just hear him.
All the splatters. like when we do these Australian interviews, they can never do it at a decent hour.
Yeah,
someone's gonna sacrifice, and I don't like for the guest to sacrifice, so I'll take the L. And I don't ask anyone else from the crew, even though most people, me and Kuba are on the same time zone, in Big Burgess, but everybody else is in a different time zone, and it's a little easier for them, but it's still hard.
Yeah.
And so the last Australian interview we did was, I think, 4 a.m. my time.
Ugh.
And I wake up hours before because I'm afraid you guys are going to see bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
I want to make it look like I'm
look pretty.
I'm going to want to make it look like I'm not like, I hate every decision I've ever made that brought me.
Hey, Coconut in the Corn, I'm an at-large member, and I'd be more than willing. I would love to talk to your chapter. Just hit me up just DM me on Instagram. It's Pretty Fly for a Commie Guy with the number 4 in lieu of the word 4. But yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. Or you can find me on Blue Sky at Comrade Mac. But yeah, dude, Jason, Jason saying he isn't looking for someone who is plugged in when he talks about the attractive. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mauricio.
You didn't even want to read it. You didn't even want to read it on air because it's so bad.
Everybody already knows that you've developed this strange thing for amputee women. So
there's some hotties on. I don't make the algorithm up. It's just like, hey, you like watching this? No. Well, here's more of this. Okay.
And then the thing is, you're like, I know I shouldn't go down this rabbit hole. And then you like stretch out, grab another like bottle of water, and you're like, I'm here for the long haul. Let's go.
I really do. I really do.
Hi, I'm a communist amputee who is making this dating profile from prison equals Jason Bait.
If you are doing anything from I've been saving all the JPay fucking. Oh, I didn't tell you. They're letting them do their own ads now where they can put in video footage and pictures of them in street clothes when they were free. JPay is the new Tinder. I don't care what anyone says.
I feel like this, whatever state they're in, is making money off this. Like they got to put some of their commissary into starting the profile. Amputee women with long butts who are part-time yoga teachers and aren't chronically online. Jason looking for a unicorn. Exactly, Crash. Exactly.
Did I tell you? Oh, I didn't tell you. So I can only say so much. So there is a woman I went out with, and I had mentioned the long butt thing because she was while you were gone, she had co-hosted a show at the Rainbow with me. And so we're back at the Rainbow. She goes, so no, we went out on Super Bowl, and she goes, so the long butt. Explain this to me. Because the chat's like long butt, long butt, long butt, long butt.
Yeah.
So
Jason, tell her about the long butt.
I was just like, oh. So I'm trying to explain and I'm miming it.
So, like, Jason puts his glasses on and he's like, so, actually, a long butt comes down to a complex mathematical formula. Okay. It's 3/4 of the base times the length. And if we're going to go volume here, you'll add the width. She's just like,
yeah, I'm trying to, so you can see her beautiful mind fucking doing the fucking
it's like the meme.
Calculation. Yeah, she's doing the ass calculation. I just saw the wheel and I was like, she's like, okay, well, to carry the 3, and then it comes in the bottom there, and it's just kind of right.
So you're saying it looks like a 12-pack of Pepsi with a curve at the bottom? And you're like, exactly.
Gotta have a bottom curve. But that was fun because literally she looked at, she goes, the long butt. Explain this to me.
It's like you're sitting down with like State of the Nation. Mr. Miles, do you care to explain this long butt? Well, actually, I would. You see, the long butt translates into standard American dimensions as well as metric. So, it can be a worldwide phenomenon. I prefer a long butt between 8 and 10 inches long with a small curvature at the bottom. Or if you'd like, about 1/4 of a meter.
Like,
oh, Prairie, that's a good one. Her. So I hear you are a Marxist into long butts and amputees. Explain. My goals are beyond your comprehension.
I think the amputees came up because I watched that thing, The Curious Story of Natalia Grace. Did you follow that at all?
No, I think you got into amputees because you went on like RedTube because you have full access to porn where we don't in the United States right now. And you were
No
like,
shit, really?
oh,
That's
dude,
why it pops up so quick.
Dude, Pornhub pulled like out of like 20 states that passed laws that said you have to put up, like, users have to log their ID in so they can prove your
way.
Yeah. So a lot of porn sites have like shut down operations.
So Mexico is goon central is what you're saying.
Oh, dude, it's the Moscow, it's the Soviet Moscow of the gooning world. Okay, like it's everything. People being asked about the long butt had to be like the idea of
because the look, if you would have saw, I'm not trying to be funny. She really pulled the, so we need to get this, and I had avoided it the first time something happened. I was like, oh, maybe we should go for a walk down the thing, and then she was, hey, dude, I have not forgotten.
The thing is, are you ready to do another like serious panel, or we go to like a conference or something, and then we're talking about some serious shit, And then someone, like, we do questions from the audience, and someone goes up, "Hey, Jason, why don't you tell us about the long butt?"
Part of me would be super stoked, and another part of me would be like, "This, I am the failure my mom told me I was."
Yeah. Like, you do one of these, and you catch yourself. You're like, "Oh God."
Oh God, the bittersweet joy of a fucking Baba Booey, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was at a conference and not one person said anything ridiculous to me. So part of me thought, oh, they must only watch the shows with Pascal.
Well, dude, it's only a matter of time. It is really only a matter of time. You know, and the thing is, I love that. I love that. Hey, Jason, so glad to be here at the TIRBBPP Big Black Power panel.
That was something that we were putting together one time with
I mean, are you ready for this one?
oh shit.
Yeah, you go ahead. So, how did you come up with the inspiration to make Pog Chaser Martin Luther King? Someone comes out, "Hey, can we get a Malcolm X impression, dude?"
That, not Malcolm X. I was asked to do Norm Finkelstein, and I didn't do it on the panel. I didn't do Finkelstein. I was asked to do Finkelstein on the panel.
Let's face it, you'd go back to like default settings and just go gooning. And with our luck being so bad, like our luck is like, if it's raining tits and ass, Jason and I get hit in the face with a dick. Right?
That's how I feel right now.
We would be on a serious panel. Somebody asks for that. Jason does it, and then Finkelstein just stands up and stomps out. We're just like, oh, fuck.
I will not stand for your anti-Semitism on this day, the day of my daughter's wedding.
He just stands up. That's not how I sound. You know, you're just like,
Jim Perry says, Jason, if you ever come to the Midwest, I promise to come to your show and ask questions that should end your career, but I'll bring a carrot raisin salad.
You know what?
I appreciate that. I did make a carrot before the show started. I did eat a very delicious carrot raisin salad. As we were doing a live show in April, and I want to come out with just a thong on. I want to be ripped to shit and just come out in a thong.
That's called the hard launch of ACAB cooking.
That's how I want to come out. It's like the most serious place ever. It's gonna be cold as shit. I'm gonna have a fucking icy hot on my nuts so that sure they don't shrink up, and I'm just gonna go out there in a thong.
If you want to do that, I'll call the Eugene Debs Museum, and we'll go to Terre Haute, and just you can do that. Just so here we have Jason Miles. He's going to read a couple excerpts. Oh wow, hey.
Oh, he sure is fit.
You have nice abs, but why is one of your balls hanging out of your thigh? Oh,
joke went a little too far.
Felt a breeze there.
Shit.
So I'd like to read to you an excerpt from Eugene Debs's speech from Canton, Ohio, that got him arrested.
Dude, I want you guys to, look, we don't have a name. We have a name for it. We haven't promoted it yet, but Ben and I are going to be in SF, and I can't say who will be joining us. It's not going to be a big panel, but we're going to be in SF on April 17th, and we're calling
her name rhymes with Rhea Malifa.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish.
Dude, Jason, no bullshit. We should reach out to her and see if she'll come on the sports show. Just talk sports.
Dude, imagine if she's like, "Oh, I love San Francisco." Well, dude, I'd fucking lose my shit.
Dude, that's her thing now. She does a sports podcast. I'm sure she'd love to fucking come on and talk about all the Washington teams.
Dude, reach out. Someone says Queen Latifah, Brianna Joy. Definitely not Brianna Joy. Come on, dude.
No,
Why would I do that to myself?
I don't hate myself that much.
Yeah, I don't really. No, it is a woman, but not her. But anyway, I've been doing this. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to see if my body changes if I do all these push-ups. And I started doing like 50, and 50 turned into 100, and 100 just turned into 300. Right, so I'm doing like 300, and now I have like tendinitis.
I'm telling
But anyway,
you got to be careful doing the Herschel Walker workout program because you might, I don't know, become an idiot like Herschel.
you can definitely overdo it, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that yesterday, and today I was like, oh, I'm going to run. I haven't ran in like a month. So I'm doing my run, and it's about 5 miles, between 5 to 6. I do it for an hour and a half. It's like a run hike. And I was telling this to Mac earlier, like this is the age that I'm at, or we're at, and a lot of people watching are at. And I'm not saying this to like for the young people to turn it off, like, oh, fuck you, old guy. That's fine if you want to say that. I'm not going to get mad at you. I would have said it when I was a young person. But I'm doing this run, and it's 20 hour and 25 minutes. And the second half of it, I'm running around this track. And as I'm running around the track, Teray texted me. Teray Reed texted me, and I grabbed my phone. And as I grabbed my phone, simple, wasn't a crazy stop, right? I'm nice leisurely pace. I got my own band playing in my headphones because I'm that fucking conceited, I guess. And I grabbed my phone and look at it, and something in my back went, nope. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Tweaked my back looking at my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do a backflip and look at my phone. And then Jason shit himself.
Jason's like, hey, oh God. Oh God. Like you got like two people that run past you, Jason. They're just like, oh fuck. Oh.
Mr. Crash says, fuck you, old guy. Hey, Mr. Crash. At least I can take my girlfriend to the black barbershop. Nigga. You think I'm gonna let them niggas fuck with me if I'm happy? Shit. Can't tell me shit. Yeah, this is my white ass girlfriend. Say something, nigga.
Jason turns into his persona when someone mentions Doug Williams.
I know I turned into Ving Rhames from Baby Boy. Putting it back in prison, I used to fuck little niggas like you.
Your girlfriend's like, what?
Nothing.
Love you, baby.
Let's go listen to Bjork and other weird shit. And she's like, okay. And then we just leave.
We'll go shopping for cast iron as soon as I get touched up here. I'm a white later. Gosh, it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. You lucky your mama's here right now to save you. The niggas can fucking. You know what's even worse? I've known him for so long. At this point, they'd be like, "Oh, that's just him." Like, nah. Like, I think they're mad. Like, Bert was fucking with me. Bert Cooper was fucking with me. I was like, Bert, man, I don't know why I can't meet nobody, and this happens, and this happens. Da, 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 da. And Bert goes, "Man, come on, Jay. At this point in your life, you should be dating a 40-year-old ex-German model." Sure. All my other successful black friends are.
So, Jason, are you into gooning? I found a very obscure text about Marx talking about gooning, yeah?
And that's why the barbershop niggas don't fuck with you, because like, it's Jay and that German gooning, bro. They be doing some weird sex shit. Here she ties him up upside down, puts him in the trapeze, pegs him, and then pees on him.
She gets him tied up from the ceiling and just bats his balls around like she's a cat.
He says, bats his balls around like he's a cat. That's what I'm saying, man.
Jason just walks in like, don't judge me for what I like.
Yeah, no one's saying. What's funny is then me and the fucking German model with the strong jaw will tease the dude, tease Mr. Crash. Your girlfriend is white.
So, Mr. Crash, do you like to swing? Oh, not that type. I shall tie you up. Many knots. And put electrodes on your testicles. What? Jason's just over there like,
Yeah. I bet you that white chick's not doing that.
yeah, T, you came in at the crazy hour. We had a phenomenally serious talk about how phenomenal women's basketball is becoming, and now you're getting the testicle electrodes part of the evening. So yeah. Jason, I hear you're socialist. So is my grandfather. Wait a minute.
Of the national kind.
It wasn't just the socialist part, though. He had to move to Argentina shortly after the war.
Yeah, I grew up. Yeah, I grew up. I can't even.
We still own a home there. We do. It's very nice.
Like the way he said it was just kind of like, this is just what happens when a nigga like you, I think he said a nigga like you, I need to stop saying that. When a brother like you gets to be a certain age, this is what you do. And I actually have a friend like that. I'm not going to say his name, but he's been on the show before.
I've got a couple friends from the military.
Did the same thing.
Not Germans. They essentially, when black dudes go to Germany, it's like a fuck free for all. German women love black dudes, right? They're like, but I got stationed in Korea and realized I want to get married now. And he's like, I met a nice little Korean girl, and like literally I got probably the 6 black dudes I met in the infantry in the 16 years I was in, they all married Korean women.
Then they're taking him to the barbershop and feeling nothing.
Bro, they made beautiful children. Like, I was like, God damn, dude, you are ugly as sin, but your kids are angelic almost.
If I'm seriously I don't know if everybody maybe should be like this, but if it's a serious thing and I can't take you into a place like that,
yeah,
then I have a problem or something, right?
Well, like, you want your partner to be comfortable,
yeah, in
a place where you just let it all hang out, right? And it could be the barbershop, it could be like the hole in the wall bar you've been going to forever. Dude, it could be a local comic book store, right? You just want them to be comfortable in the places you're comfortable in. And if they're not, like, that's not gonna work.
No.
No. Because these are people that you interact with, frequently. These are people you've known forever. They've seen you at your freaking highest of highs and your lowest of lows. Like, I'll tell you, the one place I would never take a woman is like an army reunion thing, even if it's family friendly. Never. Dude, I got invited to a unit reunion at the end of March, and I'm like, pass. And they're like, but there's gonna be like 100 of us there, and I'm like, and 90 of you I don't really want to see.
That's
so fair. I was like, that's just not. I was like, the dude that was organizing it, I was like, I appreciate you doing this. It's not my space anymore. I was like, when I talk about the military, I always get asked to come on and speak about war crimes because I witnessed one, I testified against one, I'm very outspoken against war crimes. And he's like, that's not what all the military is. I'm like, it's kind of a big part of what we, like what we should be fighting against, and we're not. And dude, they lined up like all these speakers, and like, dude, there's the speakers. I saw like a partial list, and it's like very, very well-known conservative, like supposedly we love the troops people. And I'm like, I cannot be there for that shit.
That doesn't sound like fun.
No, I was like, I'll sharpen a pencil and jab it in my ear before I fucking listen to some of these guys talk,
No, that doesn't sound like fun at all.
No. I think the actual phrase I used was I'd rather get an erection and slam it into the door of my car multiple times than go listen to these people.
You don't want to go because that's a lot of things to do to not want to go. Like, how do you, hey, I can't come into work today. What's happening? So I got an erection on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I took like 4 blue chews, and then I had a massive, raging, veiny, triumphant bastard. And then I just slammed it in the door of my car multiple times.
That's how much I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So there's that. Paul Prescott's in the chat. Shout out to Paul Prescott. Paul Prescott. I think Paul's very comfortable to take his wife to the black barbershop.
Well, I mean, he's comfortable enough to have a stable and successful relationship where you and I are constantly stepping on landmines. So there's that.
I don't give a fuck, Mr. Crash. You have to have this level of confidence. If you're gonna go in the snow, then you have to show up everywhere. If Dr. Umar is at the barbershop, walk in with that snow bunny like you're George Jefferson. That's Wheezy on your arms. You got to have that level of confidence.
Yep. The same way Jason does as he intentionally lays those landmines to create a new crop of amputee women for him to lust after. Just
you
like
guys have to. I'm not going to show the video, but you have to see the video. It's pretty cool.
Nope, they don't have to see it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to see it.
I didn't know you could twerk with no legs.
She had half legs, man.
But still, I didn't send you the last one. There's another one I didn't send you where she's making the butt cheeks go like
no, that. No. Do not send me that. Don't. I could only take so much. Because at first I'm like, why is she kneeling down to... oh, she has no bottom half of her leg. Awesome. Awesome.
I hope the current Miss Landmine isn't watching.
And the best part of that entire video that I only made it like 3 seconds into was the follow-up message that simply stated, smash. Prairie, I said the same exact thing to him. I was like, the NSA guy watching you right now is just, he's like, this GS-15 position is not fucking worth it. This is
not. And side note, Mr. Crash, yes, that joke is only between us. And I don't know who you are or where you are in the world, but if I'm ever somewhere you are and you go, hey, it's me, Mr. Crash, wink. Wink. I'm retarded. I am retarded, and facts slap me in the head, and I yell shit out.
He does.
Wink. Just wink, and I'll be like, hey, Mr. Crash.
Or you can just dab him up, get him in close, be like, listen, that's my old lady. And then Jason will know, because we can't have another Joey issue. We can't do that.
Oof. I don't want anything to get Joey back. That still hurts my soul, man. The fact that Joey don't be showing up anymore.
Yeah.
And his marriage is over. I don't know if his marriage is over. We're just going to pretend that it is for
Jason's eating, or Joey's eating a whole rotisserie chicken over the sink. Like he's that level of solo living at this point. He's just like, oh. Then he goes into the fridge and there's just like the box of baking soda so it doesn't stink bad in there. And there's like a bottle of ketchup. And there's like the one remaining Coors Light he had. And he's like, I got to run out and get more beer. And he sits down on his couch. He just leans back and he's like, might as well finish this beer and jerk off and go to bed. My girlfriend used to just give me really unenthusiastic hand jobs that I was really upset about, but I'd like one right now.
Oh, yeah. I'd take a bed farter right now.
Yeah,
If you were a bed farter, somebody farted on me. It will end with this. It's getting late. Someone farted on me, and I felt like they were pretending like they were asleep to sneak the fart out, and it was meaty. It was a meaty fart, and it got me in the face, and I was upset, and I wanted to be like, "You're awake." I just, I don't know if it's a sleep fart, but it was meaty as fuck. We ate shitty that day. But oof, it just really.
You got a whole mouthful of fart flakes, didn't you?
You know what I'm saying? We're just like, it's one of those things where like you wake up and like the way we're positioned. I can't explain everything because I don't want to explain everything.
I mean, Kush brings up a good question though. Was it an amputee?
No.
No. Okay.
I have not been blessed enough.
Was it Tiffany?
Tootin' Tiffany. This sleep fart conversation needs to be made into a YouTube short. I don't look. People fart in their. My first wife would like, because we were young, so she would hold in her farts. The moment that chick went to sleep, it was like fucking Beirut. And she was legit asleep, but she was.
It was like Beirut. Jason's like, "What? Am I in Beirut in '83? What the fuck's going on?"
Like, that poor woman, I'd be like, "You can fart around." She's like, "I don't fart." I'm like, "You don't fart, Nick." I ducked because I thought that he was getting a drive-by, and I was like, "How can that happen? We live on top of a canyon." Maybe this is why we got divorced. The new guy doesn't say that.
Well, it's just like, hey, can you please just rip ass, man? Just don't hold any, because I can't have another sleepless night thinking that I've invaded Iraq.
It's the scariest shit ever. Have you ever been with a woman that twitches in her sleep?
Oh yeah, man.
Like hard, those hard. I almost said hard jerks, but those hard twitches.
Yeah, like, and I'd get hit in the face.
Yeah,
and dude, I sleep like a rock, man. Once I'm out, I'm out. And like, if you can wake me up with a punch, like, I'm angry at that point.
Right. I'm kind of like, I need my fucking. Why don't you ever want to get close to me? I got punched, and then when you fall asleep, you
like, I put on boxing headgear and a mouthpiece just to go to bed.
Put some fucking essential oils under your nose. Yeah. Fucking
I mean, that's what kills me, man. I never understood that shit because I've dated women who just refuse to fart in front of me, and the thing is, it's like we'd eat like Latin food, and like, she's a Latin woman, so we ate a lot of it, and she would be out on the porch all the time, right? And she'd just be like in the porch swing. I really like it out here. And I'm like, well, you've been out here for like 30 minutes, man. And like, I knew she was farting. Like, I knew it. Like, dude, and I didn't make any bones about it. If I'm ripping ass, I'm ripping ass, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right. And I've also been with women that will just like stop, lift up a leg, and just be like,
yes. If you're with someone for a long period of time, there's going to be moments where there's going to be uncomfortable, right? They're going to take a shit. You're going to take a big shit. They're going to walk in behind you. It's going to be embarrassing, whatever. But living alone, I've been alone now for going on 4 years, and I farted the other day in my own bed, and it woke me up.
I was going to say, did you scare yourself?
It woke me up, and I thought to this is how bad it was. I have a whole routine. I'm sure you have a routine too, right? Everything is in the other room. All my devices are in the other room. And it woke me up, and I sat on my bed. I was like, this is why I'm alone. There's no way in the world I could never be with anyone. If I fart like this is disgusting to me, and I did it. I didn't want to I got back in the bed, and I like lifted up this sheet, and it was like, then I got the backdraft. Remember the movie Backdraft? I got backdrafted on myself.
Yeah. You were
so I was like, yeah,
damage.
This isn't for, I can't be with a person.
You were collateral damage to your own, like,
yeah,
chemical warfare agent.
It was so bad. The theme song from MASH started playing in my head.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
You're like, is there a Huey coming in now?
I was like, oh my god. I don't know. Is this part of getting old too, where you just rip ridiculous smelling, and not in that ha ha with your friends way, but in that way, like I'm ashamed of my
Bro,
body.
the thing is I started spending money on better protein, and
Mm.
my intestinal tract is just like, bro, this is some good protein. And when I rip ass, dude, like I have to be outside to do it. I can't fart inside because like that place will need to be fumigated.
Right, because you don't want to stay in your house.
Well, bro, like if I'm at work, like my back office is
Ooh.
this tiny little room, dude. If I fart in that thing and somebody walks back there to like drop off a key, they're gonna fall over dead on the stairs, right? Just and that's it. You know. What
like it's have you the other day I farted in the kitchen because I was cooking. Again, I live alone. I fart everywhere. And I walked back and I was like, it's still here. I got candles, I'm burning incense. I started fucking mopping the floor with bleach. I was like, I can't. What if something happens and a new neighbor moves in next door and they're really hot and they're like, hey, I just moved in next door and I wanted to say hello. And then I opened the door and they're like, oh, do you shit on the floor? Like, why does it smell like that here? You have an animal of some kind?
Yeah, he's got to be prepared in case Tiffany gets the unit right above him, you know?
That could happen.
I mean, anything can happen, man.
Did I show you Taylor Dane?
You did. And I
Didn't she look
replied,
great?
smash. Remember?
Does she look great? What
She
if Taylor
does.
Dane moves next door? Tell it to my heart.
I'll tell it to something.
Like, hey, Taylor Dane, you have to sing all the time. Yes, I really do. Like, oh, that's weird.
Taylor, I'm balls deep in you. Can you stop? No.
Neighbor sniffs. Have you been drinking raw milk?
It smells like raw milk and Andrew Tate. What are you doing in here?
I'm just covering farts with fucking Axe body spray, so it smells like somebody shit on a fucking musty 12-year-old.
And then fucking, it's like you dropped a turd on the floor and just sprayed it with the axe. You know?
It's so bad. These people go, what's it like dating in your 40s? Oh, coming to grips with the fact that you are the problem, and most of that problem is your insides and your refusal to change that.
Yeah. Or when I roll over, my whole back seizes up.
Yeah. That's the problem with dating in your 40s.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I know we had plans tonight, but I literally bent down to tie my shoes and now I can't move. No, I'll be fine. I'll probably just roll down the stairs and army crawl to my car and drive myself to the hospital. Yeah. He farted and tried to cover up the smell by burning the volume on his hand.
It's bad. It's bad. I fart during this show and you guys can't tell because I have a mute button on my soundboard. And I'd ask someone, I was like, can you tell? And they were like, I can tell. I was like, bullshit. You totally can't tell.
I mean, every time you saw Jason bending over, he was throwing up a little in a trash can. Yeah.
Ooh, virtuoso. That's for men in their 40s. Dating at 40. On my concrete walls, I keep a running tally of my boners.
Oh, yeah. Well, woke up with one today.
Boom. And I'm alone too, so let's get another tally for loneliness. there's two sides. I'm like, what are these two sides for? I'll tell you when it's official.
When I have you locked down, I'll share this with you. Why? Because if I tell you why, you're never coming back. I just
Do not ride on a plane with Jason. I won't fart on a plane. I'll hold that shit in on a plane.
Oh, dude, yeah. Farting on the plane,
oh,
that is a
fucked up.
faux pas. The only time I've busted ass on the plane was coming back from Afghanistan the second time. I had eaten some local food before we left, and I took a shit before I got on the plane. I'm like, I should be good.
Mhm.
And when we were flying over Budapest, and we were going to land there for refuel, I was like, just hold out, get to the airport bathroom, right? Get to the airport bathroom. And I was like, that ain't happening. And I just like, dude, I kind of stretched and I was just like, and keep in mind, I'm not like flying back with my own people. So I'm sitting next to like a total stranger that is also in the military. But he was just like, did you shit? And I'm like, bro, I couldn't hold it anymore. He's like, you really farted on this airplane? There's like 130 of us. And dude, it was so bad, Jason. Like people were I was in the center row, right? So people had to like walk past to go down the aisle to get out of the plane. So like everybody just got a face full of just like fart flakes, man. It was disgusting. So bad.
I won't eat before I get on. If I know I'm flying, I don't drink coffee. I don't eat. You're not. I don't want to use the bathroom on a plane at all. I want to sit in my seat until the plane lands.
Yeah.
I'm that difficult. Coach Look says this took a turn.
It did.
We went from like, yay, women's sports to I hate myself.
So on that note,
someone called you a terrorist.
Oh, just another one of the ists that they call me. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, look.
I can't do anything right for any of you.
I want to know again. I want to know in the comments. Please leave in the comments. Where is the place you would take your significant other that you were sprung on? That really proves that you're sprung on. Like, I'm gonna take her to this place or him to this place because this is the fucking spot. And I want everyone to know that this is my person. Okay. This is how most gooning sessions end.
Oh God, if your gooning sessions end with you being gassed out, like that's a weird gooning session.
The whole thing is weird to me.
I mean, Marx was into it, so what's the issue?
The Goonitariat. Here at TIR, we represent the Goonitariat.
That's right. The Goonitariat.
For those,
not only do we overthrow capitalism and seize the means of production, we also seize the means of gooning.
Gooning is no longer just for the rich.
Gooning is not for the likes of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. No. Gooning is for all of you, the workers, the people who make things go in this country. Yes, it's for you. Get out there and you goon. You goon to your heart's content. And you goon and enjoy yourself.
That's how we spend the rest of our day.
That's right.
Thank you guys. I'll be back very early tomorrow morning with Jean Bajlan and Professor Alexander McKeever, where we'll talk about the new Syrian regime and ask the question, is the new regime in Syria just Al-Qaeda light?
Or are they gooning?
are they gooning? Or are they sugar-free Al-Qaeda? Which Al-Qaeda is it going to be?
Now, is this diet Dr. Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda with Splenda? Like, which one is this?
Al-Qaeda Zero. It's like an Al-Qaeda Zero kind of thing.
Yeah. Is this like alcohol-free Al-Qaeda or, like Al-Qaeda light?
Lula says, and who speaks for the holetarian? I don't.
Lula, that would be Jason. I don't know how we got elected.
What is the Goonitarian flag?
It's the eggplant emoji. That's what it is. It's on a field of black.
This is just where we are, people. We did speak about sports for a good hour and a half. So anyone that's listened to the show for the whole time, there's a good hour and a half or so of sports talk. But let's go. Max got to get up early in the morning, and I kept him way later than he wanted to stay.
It's okay. I had a blast. I love Wednesdays. Yeah, but like if you guys are in the southeast part of the United States, please be careful tomorrow. I don't know how bad it is in your area, but I know a lot of North Carolina is literally covered in frozen rain. Further north, they got about 3 inches of snow. So you guys just be careful if you're in the area. If you've had inclement weather, please be careful. Take care of yourselves. And remember, gooning is for the people. For the people.
All power to the people. Thank you, guys.
All gooning to the people.
All gooning to the people. And we are